Hi guys, I'm Myra, and today we're making 3 easy recipes that are 15 minutes or less. The holidays are almost here, and I don't know about you guys, but this is my favorite time to bake. And instead of sugar, I use Truvia Sweet Complete to keep sweetness on point, and all while limiting the added sugar. And before we get started on these yummy recipes, I want to thank Truvia for sponsoring this video. Okay, so the first recipe we're starting off with is our almond brittle. We're adding everything right into one pot. Our Sweet Complete granulated all-purpose sweetener, almonds, butter, and vanilla. We have our butter, our Truvia Sweet Complete sweetener, and vanilla. So those are the 3 things that we're gonna do first. So now we're gonna move over to the stove and caramelize this. Now we're just gonna cook this on a medium heat until everything is fully dissolved and it turns nice and brown. And this is a consistency you want. And now add your almonds and a pinch of salt. And now mix everything together. Okay, and once it's all mixed together, you're gonna wanna take it off the heat, obviously. And we are going to use our baking sheet. So we have a baking sheet here, and you're gonna place a piece of parchment paper over, and we're just gonna spread this evenly over the parchment. And remember guys, for this recipe, I am using the Truvia Sweet Complete granulated sweetener. Now what we're gonna do is let this set and move on to our next recipe. Our second cookie is a chocolate crinkle cookie, and these are the ingredients. Starting with our dry ingredients, we have our almond flour, Sweet Complete granulated all-purpose sweetener, and our cocoa powder. And you always want to mix in your dry ingredients first, just to make sure that everything's well incorporated and just evenly distributed before adding your wet ingredients. Now we have our unsweetened cocoa powder. And now we have our instant coffee, baking powder, and xanthan gum. And the instant coffee just enhances the cocoa powder and just gives it more of like a deep chocolatey taste. And xanthan gum is a thickening agent, so it does add to the texture. And then just a little pinch of salt. Now we're just mixing to make sure everything's well distributed, and we will move on to our wet ingredients. So we're starting off with our eggs and vanilla. And our last ingredient is the oil. I like to wait until the end before adding it just to kind of gauge how much we'll need. We're gonna do half first and see where we're at. So this is what your dough is gonna look like before we start forming our cookies. You're gonna place your dough right onto your parchment paper. You can literally just start making your little balls, but I'm gonna try to get them as even as possible. So I'm just gonna cut this in half. We're using 2 different sweeteners for our coating. We have the Truvia Sweet Complete Confectioners sweetener here. And this is a Truvia Sweet Complete granulated all-purpose sweetener. Now we're gonna mix the granulated right into the powder. And let's go ahead and grab our cookies. Now let's go ahead and toss. Now make sure that your oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and we're gonna go ahead and bake these for 8 to 9 minutes. And our final recipe is a peppermint cheesecake fluff. Now I have all the ingredients laid out. I did have to bring out the stand mixer for this. You can use a hand mixer or even a whisk, but just know that you are gonna put in that arm workout. So we're gonna go with the stand mixer for this one. First thing we're creaming is our cream cheese. Softened cream cheese. You want to make sure it's softened so that everything incorporates just really smoothly. Sweet Complete Confectioner sweetener. Now we're gonna add our whisk attachment, and we're just gonna cream this on a medium-high speed until everything's nice and creamy and fluffy. This off. So you can see this here is nice and creamy. And now that it's creamed, we're adding in our heavy cream, vanilla, and our peppermint extract. And now we're just gonna mix again. I'm gonna show you the consistency that we're looking for. Look at this. Beautiful. Nice and fluffy. And now we are going to make our topping. And now you're gonna need a bag and your peppermint candies. I will link these down in the description below. I just picked these up on Amazon. And I'm gonna show you how I'm just gonna crush them. I'm gonna use my rolling pin to crush these because it's all I have right now. But okay, let's go for it. Now let's go ahead and crush our sugar-free peppermint candies. We're gonna go ahead and toss them into our fluff, and we're gonna gently fold them in. Now our cookies are out of the oven. Let's go ahead and decorate our platter. And you guys know this is my favorite part of the entire video. It's time for the taste test. Let's start off with the almond brittle. This tastes like caramel. Do you guys like almond brittle or peanut brittle? Perfect. So to best describe the almond brittle, I would say it has like a toffee taste with the perfect crunchy texture. And then we have our peppermint fluff. So the peppermint fluff, you can picture this as a cheesecake in a bowl. So it would be perfect if you plated this with strawberries and then kind of just used it as a dip. That would be amazing. But these cookies are really calling my name, so we're gonna go ahead and take a bite. It's like a brownie inside. They have a crisp outer that's like, I don't know if you can, like it's super crispy on the outside and the inside is literally fudgy. All right guys, so those are our 3 holiday recipes that you can make in 15 minutes or less. And to order Truvia Sweet Complete and Confectioners Sweetener for all your baking needs, I'm gonna leave the link in the description below. Thanks for being here, and I wanna thank Truvia again for sponsoring this video. Mwah.